Hey everyone, and welcome back to the channel, your go-to spot for all things fishing. I'm thrilled to be with you today, getting ready to dive deep into the fishing forecast for a very specific and exciting day, Friday, the 19th of September, 2025, right here in beautiful New Zealand. Friends, this day is shaping up to be a true spring awakening on the water, but with a bit of a twist that'll keep us on our toes. We're talking about a period of transition where winter's chill is slowly giving way to spring's warmth, promising some incredible opportunities if you know where to look and how to adapt. So, grab your coffee, settle in, because I'm about to tell you why this particular day might just surprise you with some fantastic bites, despite what the initial forecasts might suggest. Let's get straight to the good stuff. What's biting and how to target them? First up, our beloved trout, both rainbow and brown. September is a pivotal month for them. In the South Island, especially in lakes like Brunner and Benmore, those big brown trout are coming out of their post-spawning slumber and moving into shallower waters, actively feeding. This means you should be targeting lake edges, drop-offs and areas with submerged structure. For rainbow trout, particularly in the Mackenzie Country hydro canals, we're at the tail end of the spawning season. This is still a prime time for egg rolling, a technique using egg patterns that mimics natural trout eggs for those monster rainbows that are still lingering and recovering. In the North Island, lakes like Taupo and Rotorua, along with their tributaries, are opening up for serious fishing. Think streamers and nymphs here, friends, fished deep or retrieved slowly near cover. The key is that the slightly warming water is really getting their metabolism going, making them more aggressive feeders. Next, let's talk about the hard-fighting kingfish. Over in the North Island, particularly around the Hauraki Gulf, there's been chatter about workups, where bait fish, like pilchards, gather in huge schools, attracting predators. September sees kingfish in fantastic condition, often before their own spawning run. This is a challenge, but a rewarding one. Look for these workups, especially on the outside of the cable zone towards Great Barrier or the northern end of the Firth of Thames. Live bait is king here, but don't shy away from large stick baits or jigs when the fish are fired up. Make sure your gear is up to scratch. These fish will test you. And finally, a crowd favorite, the saltwater snapper. Spring is when snapper really start to gather in greater numbers and move into shallower coastal areas around the North Island, like the Bay of Islands, Hauraki Gulf, and Coromandel regions. The warming inshore waters are drawing them in. This day, with potentially strong southwesterlies, might just push baitfish closer to shore, making for some excellent land-based opportunities. Soft plastics, particularly scented ones, worked slowly along the bottom, or good old pilchard and squid baits on a ledger rig, will be your best bet. Focus on reefs, rocky outcrops and sheltered bays where the wind might be less intense. Now for the nitty-gritty, the conditions that will dictate our success. Weather-wise, for New Zealand on this 19th of September 2025, we're looking at cool spring temperatures. In the North Island, expect daytime highs around 10 to 16 degrees Celsius, but the South Island will be noticeably colder, with some areas perhaps only reaching 6 to 10 degrees Celsius. The forecast for Auckland suggests a few morning showers clearing to fine weather, but here's the kicker. Strong southwesterly winds are expected to pick up. This strong wind is crucial. It can make offshore fishing tricky and chop up the inshore waters. However, it can also drive baitfish closer to sheltered coastlines, which is fantastic for species like snapper. Atmospheric pressure should be relatively stable after the frontal passage, which is generally a good sign for fishing, but those strong winds will certainly have an impact. Water temperatures are slowly but steadily rising from their winter lows. In areas like Auckland, the average sea temperature in September hovers around 15 degrees Celsius. While still too cold for a swim without a wetsuit, this increase is enough to kickstart the biological activity of many fish species. They're becoming more active, their metabolism is speeding up, and they're starting to feed more aggressively as they prepare for the warmer months. So this trend is a major positive for our fishing prospects. As for the moon phase, on September 19th, 2025, we'll be under a great waning crescent. The moon will be only about 6% illuminated and is just 2 days away from the new moon. Fishermen's folklore sometimes suggests that the waning crescent, especially close to the new moon, can lead to weaker tides and less active fishing, and indeed, we are expecting somewhat weaker neap tides. However, in my experience, friends, the transition out of winter into spring, combined with good feeding opportunities, often overrides the subtle effects of the moon phase. Fish are primarily driven by food and comfort, and with the water warming, they'll be looking to feed, especially during dawn and dusk. Considering all these factors, my overall assessment for the fishing on the 19th of September 2025 is capricious but promising. The strong southwesterly winds will make conditions challenging in exposed areas, potentially leading to a weaker or picky bite in some spots. However, the underlying trend of warming water and increased spring activity for species like trout, kingfish, and snapper means that if you target sheltered waters, adapt your tactics, and brave the elements, you could have a truly excellent day. The fish are hungry, they are waking up from winter, and they are ready to bite if you present the right offering in the right place. Don't let the wind deter you, it often just concentrates the fish. So there you have it, friends, my detailed forecast for fishing in New Zealand on this coming 19th of September. I hope this helps you plan your adventure and land that trophy fish. Remember, fishing is all about adapting and enjoying the challenge. So get out there, stay safe, and ni foster, ni cheshui. Tight lines, my friends. If you enjoyed this forecast, please hit that like button, subscribe to the channel for more tips and tricks, and ring that notification bell so you never miss an update. And tell me in the comments below, what are your plans for fishing this week? What's your go-to lure in windy conditions? I'd love to hear your insights. Let's build this community together.